process of creating and designing and bringing a new product to what the market, or improving upon what an existing product. It also involves a series of steps that aim at turning a concept into what a finished product that meets what consumers needs. It is safety and what functional, and can be what produced efficiently. So when you look at product development, sometimes you have an idea. If you have an idea and it is in your mind, it is only in your mind. But if you put that idea into what a finished product, then you can say that you have what developed what a product. And sometimes too, there can be an existing product, but you want to put what an addition to what that existing product. For example, we have a Zonko, and the Zonko, we are just looking at we will just get what the nutritional value from what the millet. But if you add ideal milk to it, you see that you are adding another nutrient to it. It will give it a different taste, and the nutritional value too, but what will be different as compared to somebody who do what just the ordinary what Zonko. So product development doesn't necessarily mean coming up with what just a new product, but you can also add what value to what an existing product to make it what more nutritious or more flavored in nature, or just looking at an existing product and also changing the packaging, making it look attractive. You are making what you are developing what a product. So developing a product, particularly food products, involve what uh, several key steps to ensure it meets what market needs, safety standards, and what commercial what value. So when you are developing product, these are the things you have to put in mind. Is it meeting what market needs? Is it meeting safety? Is it meeting the standard that already existing products are meeting? Or does it actually meet the standards of what a commercial value? You have to look at all these things before you bring what the product into what the market. Then we talk about the steps to what developing what a product. So the first thing is what generation of idea and what concept development. So before a product come into place, you need to have an idea of how the product should be like. Do you want your product in a powdered form? Do you want it in a liquid form? Do you want it in a solid form? You need to have all these ideas. So after getting these ideas, or ideas generation or concept development, you have to take it through some steps too. The first one is to brainstorm. Oh, the first one is to brainstorm. So you generate ideas for what new recipe or product, considering ingredients or the flavor or the nutritional value or the target audience. So what are the audience you are targeting for the product you are developing? Is it for babies? Is it for adults? Is it for sick people, either convalescent or invalid, people recovering from sickness? Is it for chronic disease patient? So you need to know your target market. So all these things, if you ask yourself these questions and you come up with the answers, then you are doing what? You are brainstorming. So generate ideas based on what? Market trend. And sometimes you need to check what is trending in the market, so that if your product is not one of those that are trending, how are you going to make it to trend in the market? So all these things you need to look at them. Then you talk about the consumer needs, and you talk about the six class of what? Food. These your product that are coming. Will it contain carbohydrate? Will it contain protein? Will it contain fat? Will it contain vitamins and what? Minerals. Then water is the last mineral that we know. Is it going to contain all these things? So you need to know all these things. So if you are doing all these things, that is what the brainstorming stage. Then you go to consumer research. So you analyze market demand preferences. What are consumers uh, uh, urging for? What are they hungry for, or what are they looking for in the market? So you need to do this consumer research, which is very necessary, because if you don't do, I'm not interested in. So, and at the end of the day, your product will not sell. You look at the gaps. Sometimes that are trending, is it low carbohydrate diet food that defining the product concept. So define the concept of your product, what it is. So what are you bringing into the market? Why is it my target people? Is it for children? Is it for sick people? Is it for people recovering from sickness? Is it for people with chronic diseases? So you need to know your target group. So the food the product for, e.g., is it for athletes? Is it for kids? Is it for adults? You need to state all these things. So, and the idea generation, this is what we have, and it's the what idea generation and what concept development. Any question? Any question? Am I still in class?
Yes, madam.
Yes, madam. Any question, or I should go on?
Madam, please go on.
So, with the second step is market research. So for you to bring a product into the market, you need to do what? Market research. And under market research, we have the competitors analysis, and we have consumer feedback, and we have what? Visibility studies and regulatory what? Research. So under the competitors analysis, you analyze similar products in the market, understand what works and what doesn't work. So before I bring, for example, when I was bringing baby food into the market, upon talking, I didn't bring it to the market, but I developed baby food to solve what? Malnutrition. But before I developed that product, I spoke to mothers at the antenatal to find out why they opt for a local cereal for their children as compared to the ones in the market. And what they were all saying is about the pricing, the cost of the product. So when I went back, I was looking at products that I will put together, or ingredients that I'll put together, that the price will still be what? As low as possible. That even the people who are struggling could also afford. So instead of going in for something you need to add milk and other stuff to make it very expensive, I went in for our own local product. I use pearl millet, use onion, use tomatoes, use dawa dawa, which is it is available in our locality to produce the baby food. So when we did the market cost analysis on it, you realize that we could sell a product at 50 Ghana cedis, which is still cheaper than going in to buy what the naan, or going in to buy Saralac, going in to buy other stuff. And even that one, the quantity was even more than the non-tin. So if you are bringing a product into the market, these are all the studies you need to do, so that when you bring the product, a lot of people could get what access to it. So you study existing products in the same category and assess their strength, weakness, and what opportunities. So in analyzing the competitors' view, you need to analyze, to look at their strength. What is their strength? So that if this is their strength, then I need to come with this particular strength. You also study their weaknesses so that you don't do what makes them weak. So all these things you need to study and look at it. What opportunity is there after researching on the competitor? What opportunity does it give? What will I do differently so that they'll leave their product and come to mine? So you do that. Then look at consumer feedback. So you gather insight from what? Possible customers by doing what? A market survey or interview or focal group discussion. So what I did was a focal group discussion to see what their feedback is using Cerelac and other products. And I came to realize involved in buying what the and if a survey, people come, go around to possible consumers that you are targeting and do an oral interview with them. You can also organize what a focal group discussion, put them at this particular community, to particular district. You hear from then you can now decide to come out with what your own. Then we talk about the visibility studies. So you assess whether the idea is what visible in terms of what your product. You just don't bring it out. You look at, is it going to be cost effective? Will it be so, or you know, bring later that consumer will test, then give you the feedback. But if after consumer test and like this something you need the demand for what the product that you are bringing into the market, then we have what the last one, restriction. What are the restrictions based on that particular product you are going in? You also look at what the labeling, what labeling does this require? So that is all under what market research. Any question?
Yes.
So any question, or I should move ahead? So we look at formulation and what? Recipe development. That is the third step. So we are now going to look at how we are going to formulate or develop what? Our recipe. So first is ingredient selection. So the first thing you have to do if you are doing producing a product is for you to choose what high quality ingredient that align with what? Your concept. So you just don't pick the ingredients, but you look at the nutritional goal, you look at what the target audience, you look at what preferences the target audience will like. Then finally you select what ingredients from what relevant what food class. When we talk about relevant food class, we know the protein class, we know the carbohydrate, we know the mineral. So if you are bringing out a product, all whatever product you are coming out with should fall within what the six nutrients that we have. Then we talk about recipe trial. So after getting all your ingredients, you have to try the recipe. You just don't go ahead to develop in large quantity. You need to do what? Develop a recipe or formulate that which align with what your product goal. Then you do an experiment with what? The ingredient. Look at what the flavor it will give you, and also study what the texture it will give you before you do what? The final what? Production. So after producing, you need to do what? A prototype testing. So you create a prototype of what? Your product for testing. Then adjusting the basis on what? Feedback. So when we talk about prototype testing, you produce just a little, get a number of people, or you take it to the target consumers you are looking at or target audience, and let them just test what you have produced. Then the people will give you feedback. Some may tell you that, oh, the butter is too much, so maybe you can reduce the butter a little. Maybe the product contains a lot of sugar, so you can minimize the sugar. Some people can tell you the sugar is very minimal, if you can increase it a little. So this is the stage where you get feedback, so that you can now go ahead to develop what? Your product. Then you have what? Nutritional profiling. After your product, you just don't take it to the market like that. You need to do a nutritional profiling on what? The product you have developed. So you need to know protein, what percentage is there, carbohydrate, what percentage, minerals, what percentage, so that you ensure that whatever you are doing meets what? The desirable health goals of what? Your target audience. So nutritional profiling is very important. So that is the last step under what? Formulation and what? Recipe development. So any question? Any question? Am I in class?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, madam.
So any question, I should move ahead.
Hello, madam.
Yes.
Hello. Madam, please, I'm lost. So you said that's the
Why are you lost?
last point under. I was thinking we are doing steps in product development.
Yes, we are doing steps in product development. Under each of them, they have their step under them. So when you put when they talk about steps in product development, there are a number of them, and under them they have subtopics. So the first one, when you talk about the steps, the first one is idea generation and what? Concept development. So under idea generation and concept development, we have what? Brainstorming. That is where you put your ideas together. And we have what? Consumer research. Then the last one is what? Defining what? Product concept. Then the second step is market research. Under market research, what you need to do under market research is doing what? A competitor analysis, doing consumer feedback, doing a visibility study, and doing a regulatory research. So the third step is what? Formulation and what? Research, recipe development. So under recipe development or formulation, what you need to do under them is what? Ingredient selection, recipe trial, prototype testing, then what? Nutritional profiling. So the fourth step is what? Testing and what? Refinement. So do you now get it? Is it clear?
Yes, madam. Thank you.
You are welcome. Any other question?
So, madam, please, when you are...
So should I move ahead?
When you are... Yes, please, madam, please, I'm asking you a question again. Hello, madam.
Sundry about.
Madam. Hello, madam.
Hello.
Madam, please. I think she wants to ask another question. That your network is gone. Madam.
Hello, madam.
Yes.
Please, I said, when you are asked to list the steps in product development, madam.
Yes.
When you are asked to list all the steps involved in product development, please, are you listing just the 11 points, or you are listing each with each sub topics, sub head, these things under them? Thank you.
It depends on how the question is being asked to. Madam, it depends. If they asked you to, if it is a theory question, they asked you to explain the steps under product development. You can't just go and start mentioning testing and refinement and leave it there. If I decide to mention testing and refinement, I need to explain what that means. So I need to talk about under testing and refinement, we have what? Sensory testing. We have shelf life testing. Then you explain what sensory testing means, what shelf life means. Then you explain what nutritional testing means. Then you talk about adjustment. If I come again and also maybe formulation and recipe development, I need to explain under formulation and recipe development what is done there. So I'll talk about selection of ingredient and I'll give brief explanation of that. Talk about recipe trials and explain briefly on that. Then prototype testing and explain briefly on that. But in a situation where it is there, list the steps of what? Product development. You can talk about the market research. You can talk about generation of ideas. You can talk about formulation and recipe development. You can talk about testing and what? Refinement. You can also talk about costing and pricing. You can talk about packaging development. Then you can talk about scale-up production, the regulatory and safety approval. Those ones, they've just asked you to list. But if it is a theory question, you need to list them and explain what each of them is talking about. Do you get it now?
Yes, madam, I got it. It's a past question, and they just wrote in section section B that lists all the steps involved in product development, and then that's for A. The reason why I'm asking is that,
Yeah.
please, I'm coming. The reason why
Yes,
I'm
I'm
asking is that it's A and
mm,
B. That part
okay.
list all the steps involved in the product development. That's A for 10 marks.
Hey.
Then the
Mm-hmm.
B part said, how does market research contribute to the product development process? Also 10 marks.
So
So if I'm going to state each one, then state everything. Let's say the fifth point, like costing
no,
and
for
pricing, then state.
the question is list, meaning just mention the steps. So the explanation she wants, that is why she has specified that how can market research enhance what product development. So you use the steps under market research to explain how it will enhance what product development. So what steps goes under what market research. So that is what you use to answer the question B. But for the A, she's just asking you to list. So you just list them. One, idea generation. Two, market research. Three, formulation and recipe development. Then four, testing and refinement. Then five, costing and what pricing. So she have asked you to list. So you just list them down. Is that okay?
Thank you, madam.
You are welcome.
Hello, madam.
Yes.
Please, looking at the steps, is
Mm.
it in order? Let's say first of all is idea generation, and then followed by market research. Is it in order if you want to list it, or if you are explaining it? Thank you, madam.
So if it's in exam, if she doesn't ask you to list it in order, you can just mention. She didn't ask you to list them in order. She asked you just list the steps in what product development. So no matter how you list them, it is going to be marked. But if she asked you to list the steps in order, then she needs the order. So you go and start from what? Idea generation. You talk about market research. You talk about formulation and recipe development. Then you go to what? Testing and refinement. Then you go to what? Costing and pricing. Then packaging development. Then you talk about scaling up production. That is when the items are selling, you do what? Pilot production. You do something small. If this thing is buying, then you can scale up what? The production. Then you now go to 8, which is regulatory and safety approval. Then you go to 9, marketing and branding. Then you talk about what? Launching and feedback. Then 11, post-launching analysis and continuous improvement. Then that ends it. There 11 before we look at what quality assurance, which is the quality assurance management.
Thank you, madam.
You are welcome. So can I go back?
Yes, madam. Thank you. I'm okay now.
Okay. Is someone talking? Someone's mic is on. So should I continue?
Yes, please.
So we look at what the sensory testing. We earlier on I told you when we talk about sensory testing is human being testing with what their senses. So with sensory testing, you conduct taste testing with your target what audience to assess what the product's flavor, the texture, the aroma, and what their appearance, so that they can give you what feedback, so that if there are improvements you need to make, you make that improvement. Then the next one is what? The shelf life testing. So you assess how long the product will last in what? The shelf, or when you are storing it, how long will it stay? So if you are going to do the shelf life testing, you leave the product on the shelf. Then for a week, you go to do analysis in the lab. You do microbial analysis to see, as it's on the shelf, what contaminants have gotten into contact with it. If it is still safe for consumption, then you know that for a week that product can stay. And in 2 weeks, you do same until such a time that you do and you realize that there are contaminants in the product. Then you can say that maybe for the 1 month you still do, it is safe. 2 months you still do, it is safe. 3 months you do, it is safe. Some can even take 1 year, 2 years. So that's why some products, you have the manufacturing year being 2004. Then at the end of the time, the expiring date, they will give you 2008, meaning the product can stay with what, up to 8 years or 4 years, and it is safe. So this is how we do what, the shelf life testing, to see how long the product can be on the shelf. Then you evaluate how long the product remain fresh and safe for what, consumption, considering what, packaging what, solution that preserve what, the shelf life. So sometimes we just don't look at the product alone to see how it will stay on the shelf for long, but you also look at what, the packaging, to see whether with the packaging it will still keep the product fresh for a very long time, so that you do that testing too. Then you do the nutritional testing, that is to ensure that the product meets what, the intended nutritional value. Is it high in protein? Is it low in sugar? So for example, if you are developing a product for diabetics, you need to get a product that contain what, low sugar content or no sugar content at all, but rather you should be looking at what, high phenolic compounds. If a food contains a lot of phenolic compounds, then you realize that when it is digesting, it releases the starch slowly into what, the bloodstreams. So in getting a product for diabetics, these are the things you need to consider. You look at increasing the phenolic compounds in the product and rather reducing what, the carbohydrates or the sugars in the product. So these are all nutritional what, testing. Then you talk about adjusting, refining what, the recipe based on what, the feedback and what, the testing result. So whatever your audience tell you to do, you need to make what, an adjustment, so that you can meet the needs of what, your audience. Then we talk about costing and pricing. So cost of ingredients. So if you are producing a product, you need to put down what, the cost of what, the ingredient. Then you calculate the cost of what, all the raw materials. You calculate the cost of production. You calculate what, the packaging what cost. Then when you get to know, then you will now add what, your profit on it. Then you talk about product costing. You consider the labor, you consider what, the machineries, you consider the operational costs involving what, producing what, the food product. So all these things, you need to cost them down. Then the final thing you add in costing is what, your profit margin. So you determine prices based on what, cost, target market, and what, competitors. So before you put your profit on it, you need to look at your target market. If I put this amount of money on this product, then you can now know how much profit you put there. Can it be maintained for some time? And will it be profitable, considering what, the cost of ingredient, considering what, the production cost? If I put pricing, this is what you need to do. Then we go to packaging development. So first you need to design what, your package. So create a packaging that appeal to people. Children, you need to get a package that is what attractive. Once the child sees the packaging material, the child is attracted to what the product. So in getting your packaging, you need to also consider the audience. Talk about labeling. Ensure that all nutritional information, ingredients, and what legal requirements are correctly displayed on what the packaging material. All these things, people who are your target audience go in for it. They also want to know the nutritional information. They want to know what carbohydrate percentage is there, what protein percentage is there. So that if I am somebody, they say I should stay away from carbohydrate food. If it has high carbohydrate percentage, then I stay away from the product. So all these things are what? Very necessary. Then we also look at sustainability. The the packaging material that you are coming out with, is it eco-friendly? Is it something that is also going to be sustainable? Is it something you can always get as a packaging material? You need to look at that. Then you look at its relevance to what? The market. The packaging material you are using, what relevant does it have with what? The market. You need to look at all that. Then let's go to the 7th point, which is the scale up production. So you do what? Pilot production. So you test your recipe in what? Large quantities to ensure it can what? Be produced at what? A large scale without what? Sacrificing what? Quality. So sometimes you just go into production of what? Mass production without considering what? The quality of what you are going to bring into the market. Sometimes if you are producing it in smaller quantity, you realize that you come out with what? A high quality what? Product. By the time you are doing the scaling, if you are not very careful, you end up scaling up the production, and at the end of the day, if you take the product into the lab to test, you realize that you have what? Low quality of what? Product. So you need to look at the consider the quality of the product if you are doing what? Mass production, so that if you need to adjust some of the ingredients to give you that quality that you got when you produce the little one, you have to do what? Adjust. Then you have what? Manufacturing partnership. So you need to get a partnership with what? A core manufacturer, so that you can produce the product at what? Live stage. So if there's somebody who is also into what? That production, you can team up with the person so that two of you can do what? Scale up what? The production. Any questions so far?
Madam, please, with the manufacturing partnership, is it always necessary to go in for a partnership, or it can be sole proprietorship?
It can be sole proprietorship. That is if you have the capital or you have the resources to scale up. Because there are some machineries you buy that can produce in larger quantities, but you don't have that money to go in for that machine alone. So you can partner with somebody who is also into your production or your kind of product, so that both of you can get the machine, then you can do the scale up production. But in a situation where you can afford the machine alone, why not?
Thank you.
Is that okay?
Yes, okay. Thank you very much.
Hello.
Hello, madam.
Hello.
Hello, madam. We are here.
Efia, did you hear the explanation I gave?
Yes, I did. I did. Thank you.
Oh, okay. You're welcome. So can I continue? There are other questions. Can I continue?
Madam, yes, please, let's continue.
Okay. So we are going to the A form, which is the regulatory and safety approval. So we'll have what the food safety testing. Mostly you have to do this in the laboratory. You conduct tests to ensure that the product is what safe for what consumption. So the testing you do at the lab, you do what microbial load testing to see what microorganisms is in the product. If there are no microorganisms, then you can say that the product is what safe. Then you also look at allergies. What allergies are in the product? If they are allergy free, then you can say that the product is what safe for what consumption. Then you also have to comply with what the food and drugs board, whatever you are bringing out, you need to ensure that the product meets what the food safety regulations. That falls under what the food and drugs board, then the USDA or the relevant local authorities that works in your country. So when you bring the product, that is why when they are doing adverts on tele, they'll tell you that it is FDA what approved. You can't bring a product into the market without collecting what FDA on it. So you need to pass through it through the SDA people to make FDA people to make sure that the product is safe before you bring it into what the market. Then we have the marketing and branding. So branding is very, 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 very important. If your branding is very bad, you will have what low market. So in product development, you need to have a good what brand. So develop a brand strategy that what would uh, would soil. So with eco-friendly pure water fetches doesn't get washed. So you need to look at all these things. Then you look at the premium of what the product. So all these falls under what marketing and what branding. We have what marketing campaign. You need to you can also move around with it. You can influencer effort or to do an influence on your product for you. Then you can also get a partnership. If the cost of a marketing campaign is too much, you can get somebody to partner with, since you are all producing the same product, so that they can do the marketing for you. Then you look at the distribution strategy, which is also very important. If you produce something here and you don't distribute it, other areas will not get. And sometimes the cost of distributing it is very what expensive. So you need to look at how you are going to distribute your product to what other places. Is it where you are going to sell it? Is it supermarket? So how are you sending your product into the supermarket? Is it online? How are you sending the product online? You need data and all those things to put the product out there. Is it on a specialty store? Are there some specific stores that your product can be placed there for sale? You need to look at all this, and all this falls under marketing and what? Branding. Then we talk about launching and feedback. We have what? Product launching. That is rolling out the product into the market and what? Monitoring its performances. Once you you roll out the product into the market, you need to look at how the product is performing what in the market. Then when you look at its performances, once it is performing, you know that consumers are into your product. So you now contact those consumers for what? A feedback. So you gather this feedback, then after the launch to make what? Necessary correction of what? The product. So once the consumers tell you that, oh, the sugar in the product is too much, or your product, if it's soap, they'll tell you the soap doesn't lather well, or the smell of the soap isn't good. You take all this feedback, then you make what? Adjustment after what? The rollout. Then in level, you have what? The post-launch analysis, or what? The continuous what? Improvement. So you have what? The sales performance. So you track how well the product is performing in the market or is selling. Then you talk about the continuous improvement. So you use what? Feedback from what? Consumers and market trends to refine what? Or expand what? The product online. So all these things are very necessary when you want to go into what? Product development. So we've come to the end of what? The steps to what? Product development. Any question under them? Then before we go to total quality management, quality assurance. Any question?
Madam,
Yes.
hello. Please,
Yes,
what
I'm
slide
online.
are you using?
Eh?
Because the one that you sent to me, please, where we are doing the lecture, where can we find it in our slides?
This is lecture 5 for the last slide.
I joined a certain group lecture, and then they were using that slide for issue in food safety. So I thought it's for issues.
No, this is not issue. Issues in food safety is one, it's put together about 60 something pages. I've been using
Okay.
this slides to teach for about 2 years, or is it 3 years now? They are different slides. They were sent on the same time. So if the lecturer did not arrange them well, you will mix them up. I have separate this thing for them.
Okay, madam. So you were talking about point 11, but in that slide, it ends at point 10.
It ends at what?
Point 10, regulatory compliances.
No, this is it at 11 cra. We have product launching and feedback. Then we have 11, which is the post launching analysis and continual professional development, continual improvement. Madam, don't worry. Just these are the number of slides I have. So this is what I am using to teach my students over the years. And this is what our chief examiner shared for us. So I don't know why their own is 10. These have been the slides I've been using to teach from the chief examiner since. So this is what I have. If you need it, I can you can pick my contact number. Then you send me hi after the class. I'll resend it to you.
Okay. The one that I received from you is up to 10. So you send this one too so that I'll add it. Thank you.
No, they are the same. I just sent. It's like a file. There are 25 slices. So I'm surprised you are, because it's together. So I don't know why you have only 10. Because after this, quality assurance is not part of that particular
Hello, madam.
Yes.
The 11 is on page 5 for me. Steps to develop
Then it's from
product.
the way you opened it.
Hello, I'm telling the lady that is looking for it that it is on page 5.
But mine is arranged, and I have sent it to a lot of students and data.
Uh,
I want
Madam, I think,
and the
Madam,
date,
please, I think it's
the
hello.
day she said it was 31st of October. That was when I got mine.
Please, so hello colleagues. We can let Madam rest for now and then continue her teaching. When someone has got the whole slides and then can send it to this group so that each and everyone who doesn't have the same one she's using can have, please.
Is that okay? Can we continue?
Yes, madam.
I'll resend all the slides for you people so that you download it as it comes. So don't worry, after this class, I'll resend them. So any other question before we look at the total quality management?
And then we are okay, please, you can continue.
Silence question.
Yes, madam. We don't have any question yet. Yes, please.
What am I doing with hot one? Where am I? Of products and what services. That is what very important quality. How you are still going to
Madam, please, oh, your line was breaking. We couldn't hear you. So if you can start, please.
maintain the quality of what the product to meet what is it clear? Hello, is it clear?
Yes, madam.
Yes, Madam, it's clear
Madam.
now.
Thank you. Hello.
Hello, madam. Hi,
Someone was
madam. We are
talking. Is
listening.
it, hello.
Hello, madam.
Someone was talking. Is there a problem?
She
No,
was
madam.
alerting you that your line wasn't good, wasn't clear.
Yeah,
But now
I
it is
didn't
stable
hear.
now.
But is it now good now?
Yes, please.
Okay. So what I was talking about was what? Total quality management. So what I said was that it is a comprehensive what approach to improve what the quality of what a product and what service. So when developing a product, your focus should be on what? The total quality of what? The product, and how you are going to manage to improve what? The product quality, and also to meet what? Consumer satisfaction, and also to get what? Employee involvement. So whatever you are doing when you are developing a product, these are the key things you should put in your mind. So we are now going to look at the key steps in what? In applying what? Total quality management in what? Product development. So the first one is what? Consumer focus. So you need to understand consumers' needs and what? Expectation. So before you produce something, you ask yourself, what do consumers need? What are their expectations? So when you get to know what they need and what they expect, then you produce something that will meet what? Their need and what? Expectation. Then the second thing you need to look under what? Consumer focus is what? Gathering what? Feedback through what? Survey, focal group discussion and what? Market research to inform what? Product design and what? Development. So you also need to gather what? Feedback, which is also very necessary. Then the second step is what? Total employee involvement. So encourage participation and what? Input from what? All employees in the product development processes. So if you hide your strategies and other stuff from your employees, the day you are not going to be there, what they will produce will not meet the quality that you have been producing. So that is why it is very necessary, whatever you are doing, you involve what? Your employees, so that in your absence, whatever they are going to produce will meet the quality you have been producing every day. Then you need to foster what? The culture of what? Quality, where everyone takes responsibility for what? Improving what? Quality. So everyone, so this is where you, the business owner, you motivate what? The employees who bring what? Ideas that will improve what? Quality of what? Your product. So when I come to tell you that, oh boss, let's add ideal milk to what? The Zonkom, the local drinks we have been producing, I think it will improve what? Nutritional quality of the product into the
Madam, your line is breaking, oh,
added.
please.
Hello,
Hello, madam, please, your line is breaking.
are you talking? Is there a problem? Hello,
Hello, madam, your line is breaking, oh, please.
hello. Am I in class? Hello,
Hello, madam.
hello.
Hello, madam.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hello, madam, we can hear you.
You can hear me. I've been doing a hello since. So is it clear now?
Yes,
Yes,
it's clear.
madam, now it's clear.
Okay. So where did I stop? Because I was moving to 3. I don't know whether you people heard me.
No, that was where your line started breaking. So you were on the third step.
Is it the foster culture of what? Quality, where everyone takes responsibility for improving quality. Is that where you ended?
Yes, that was where you ended. So you were about to start with the point 3, process-centered approach.
Okay. Thank you. So the third step is what? The process-centered what approach. So you identify and map out all possible what involvement in what the product development. So you need to map them. Everyone who needs to be part, you need to uh, let the person be involved. You identify all these things, then focus on what improving these processes to enhance efficiency and what effectiveness. So you need, as a manager, you need to also get all these things written down so that in your absence they can also pick these processes and follow the steps that are involved so that they can get what the quality that you need. So you realize that some people or some producers, they have the idea in their brain, so in their absence, if the person travel, it's better. But if it's unfortunately that the person passed on, you realize that production will continue, but the quality that they will get will not be as the original what manager or the owner of what the plate. So all these things you need to take note so that you can improve upon what the quality. Then we talk about the integrated system. So you develop a coherent system that integrates what the various functions. That is the R&D. That is you talk about the resources development, then you look at marketing, you look at what production, you look at what raw material acquisition. All these things you need to integrate it into what the work so that you can work towards what a common quality what goal. So even the raw material acquisition, you need to look at what those that are of what high quality. Sometimes you go to the market, what is deteriorating, that is what they'll reduce the price for you to buy. And if you pick those raw materials and produce, at the end of the day, the quality that you are going to get will not be good. So you need to consider all these things. You need to also ensure that quality is what shared responsibility across what the department. So if those who go for the raw material alone, that you consider what quality, then you will be a failure. By the time the final product will come out, the quality will be very low. So hey, yakanyamantakla, be volume bala. Sorry. So when you go in for what your raw material, you need to consider what quality. If you start quality so that it raw material. If you go you need to consider you are using. So you need to consider what quality at every stage so that the final product that will come.
Hello, madam.
I think she has gone. I thought I was the only one not here.
Maybe her line has dropped.
Brian, something. Just why?
Because she's not online. I beg you, please. If anyone has got her kind of slides, please, I beg, can you send it to me, please? Anyone? Thank you.
Hello. Hello.
Madam.
Hello, madam.
Oh, sorry, I went off. Oh.
Yes.
Welcome back, madam.
Where did I get to?
Madam, please, the integrated system.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I'm coming. I'm going back to my slide because I went back to join. Just a moment, sir. Interesting.
Okay, madam.
Oh,
Madam Tilly, please, your hand has been up
hello.
since we started, so please.
Hello.
Hello, madam.
Hello. Hey, integrated approach, and
Hello.
nobody elected me. I have done up to communication.
Oh.
Hey.
They're sorry, oh.
Ah, Memphis, you didn't call me. Oh,
Madam, I sent you a message, oh, but it didn't come through.
it was when I
Sorry.
went off. I saw that Efia sent me a message.
Madam, please, I was prompting you, but you couldn't hear me either.
Oh, you should have called me on a normal call, Mavis.
Madam, please,
Okay, so let's go back. The fifth one, the strategic and systematic approach. So with this one, you need to get an organizational strategy goal. So every organization, you know that there's a goal to every organization. So for example, if we are looking at a goal of what? Good health. Whatever we produce, when somebody eats, the quality should give the person good health, or the carbohydrate should be minimal. So whatever we are doing, our strategy should meet our organizational goal. So whatever product we are coming out, the quality should align with what? The organizational goal. Then the next one is that we have to use what? Data driven decision making to guide what? Product development. So you don't sit as an individual to always give instructions. You give opportunity to what? Your colleague or shareholders to also put their idea onto the table so that whatever idea they have as to coming out with a high quality product, you can all come together to bring out what? These qualities that the organization is looking for. Then we talk about the continuous improvement. So you need to look at what? The ongoing improvement in what? The product quality. You don't look at the quality just for the first time you have produced the item, but as the item is in the market, once in a while, you need to go into the market, pick the product and do what? Quality testing to see have the temperature of the market changed the quality of your product. Has the environment contaminated your product that the quality has distorted? So in the market, you need what? The quality reduces. What do we do? Uh, uh, an improvement we need to make on the product or the packaging. What all these things. Based decision making analysis to make about what product future. Then you look about the improvements you need to make and to look at how you meet what consumer satisfaction. They also need a time to collect and analyze what data throughout what the product like I said earlier on. You can send the product into the market. In about a month's time, you go and pick some sample to run the test on it to see the quality. Then in about 2 months' time, you do the same thing so that you can say that if the product stays in the market for about 6 months or a year, it will still has its what quality, because you are protecting what your brand. Like I told you people earlier on, branding is what very important. And once you brand your product, you need to protect what that brand. So for brand protection, you need to do a follow-up to do quality testing on your product whilst it is what in the market. Then the F1 is what communication. So you maintain open lines of what communication among what all stakeholders involving what product development. So if you are the manager, don't think that whatever you say is the final thing. No, you need to allow your other colleagues or the workers, those who are involved in the production of the production of the product. You need to listen to them because they are doing it. So if they tell you that, oh boss, let's do this and this to improve upon the quality, you need to look at it because they are doing what? The production. Then you also have to share best practices. So if you read online and you know that this is the practices other organizations are doing and it gives them high quality of what product, then you need to share with other stakeholders that are in the organization with you. When success comes, you need to share the success with what? The people you are working with. And also when there are lessons to learn, when you use a certain method and the product doesn't come out well, you know you use certain methodology and the product doesn't come out well, or certain steps you use and the product's quality is very bad, you need to share with what the people that are involved in the production so that they will learn from it, so that next time they don't use those steps or those methods so as to come out with what a low quality what product. If you also realize that there are some culture practices you need to put in place to improve on the quality of the product, then you need to collaborate with what those culture people so that they can help you improve on what the quality of what your product. Then the ninth one is what? Training and what? Education. Once you have your employees, every 3 to 6 months, you need to educate them or you need to train them on the best skills to improve upon what? The quality of what? The product. You also need to promote a culture of what? Learning and what? Innovation. So that is where you involve what? Your employees. Let them bring their idea. How are we going to change this product? How are we going to improve upon this quality? The quality of our product. Then you listen to what? The workers. Let them bring their ideas. In a group, you brainstorm and come out with what? The best practices that will improve upon what? The quality of the product that you are developing. Then you look at supply quality management. So wherever you are going to buy your raw material, you need to make sure that the raw materials that they are giving to you from your supplier, they should give you what? High quality what? Raw material. Because if you have high quality raw material, then the product that you are coming out with automatically will be what? Of high quality of what? Product. So you need to take all these things into consideration. You establish what? A quality standards and monitoring supply performances. So whatever your supply you need to take them through your organization. So these are the steps involved in what? Total. Any question? Hello?
Hello, madam.
Class, another question. If not, let me continue.
No question, please.
Total quality management. Let's look at the implementation of the steps. So one, you define your quality standard. So what quality do you need? A clear quality criteria for what? Your product. So at the end of the day, the quality of my product should meet what? 70%, 80%. So you need to be clear about the quality you need for your product when you are done producing it. Then you need to set goals, which is the second step. So align product development goals with what? Quality standard. So when you set your goals, you need to make sure that whatever you produce meets what? Your quality standards for what? The organization. Then three, you develop a quality plan. And how do you do that? You create a roadmap for what? Implementing what? The total quality management principle in product development. Then fourth point, you do monitoring progress. Once you produce the product, you need to regulate, assess what the product towards what quality goal, and make adjustment as needed. So when you go in to test for the quality and you realize that the quality have reduced, what do you need to do? You need to make an adjustment so that you can increase or improve upon what? The quality. Then the fifth one is what? Evaluation and what? Improvement. So after product launching, you gather feedback and you evaluate what? The product performances to identify the area for what? Further improvement. So we are done with what? The implementation steps. Any question before we move to what? Food industry. Any question?
No, madam.
So we move to food industry. So we all know that food industry encompasses all activities involved in what? Production, processing, distribution, and what? Sales of food. It includes a wide range of sectors, from what? Agric and farming, to food manufacturing, to packaging and what? Retailing. So when we talk about quality assurance in food industry, quality assurance in food industry is a critical function that ensures food products meet what safety regulations and also consumer design of food consistency meets what the consumer expectation. So when I talk about quality assurance, one thing that should be in your mind is that it meets what food safety you bring out, sure that it meets food safety what protocol. Then it's
Hello,
what consistency. Yes,
madam. Your line is
yes.
breaking. Please, the line is breaking.
Can you? Is it clear now?
Let's go again.
So I was talking about quality assurance in food industry. So what I said was that quality assurance in food industry is a critical function that ensures food product meet what safety regulatory and what consumer standards from what production to what consumption. So it involves what a set of what processes and protocol designed to meet what consumer satisfaction. So I also added that when you are talking about quality assurance, the product should meet what the protocol of what the quality that the industry needs. Whatever product you have should meet what the quality of what the organization. It should also meet what the legal requirements and what consumer expectation. If your product meets all these considerations, then you can say that your food meets what the quality assurance. I hope it's still clear. Hello.
Madam, we are
Hello,
listening to you.
we are with
Okay.
you.
All right. So there are some key aspects of what quality assurance in what the food industry, and we have one food safety management system where we have the HACCP. So the HACCP is what a preventive approach to food safety that identify potential hazards. So these potential hazards that it's identified are the biological, the chemical, and what the physical, and it's established what a control measure at what a critical point in what food production process. So at this HACCP stage, they analyze what the hazard as a critical control point. So there are some points or some points of at which the hazards will get to, then they can tell you that the food is still safe for consumption. But when it reaches certain percentage, they'll tell you that with the hazards that they have identified in the product, it is not what safe for what human consumption. So that product should be what discarded. So that is why any food that you produce has to go to what FDA, so that they can assess this hazard on the food to ensure that the food is what safe for what consumption. Then we have what the good manufacturing practices, which is the MGPs. These are basic operational conditions and what procedure required to produce what safety food. conveying aspects like what? Hygiene, equipment maintenance, and what? Personal training. So at this stage, they train the people working with at the production unit how to protect themselves. How before you start production, you need to what? Go in to wash your hand, just like before you start cooking in the kitchen. The protocol steps, the health protocols you follow before you cook. In the food industry, you need to follow the same protocol. You need to wash your hand under running water. Cover your nose if it is a food production or a manufacturing industry. You need to cover your nose. You need to also get an overall to cover yourself so that your sweat doesn't get into contact with whatever you are producing. So all these things are uh, protocols you need to go through so that whatever you produce, it will meet what? The quality assurance of what? Your organization. So sometimes when you get new workers, you need to take them through training. Some organization or food industry, when you get there, they have where you leave your sandals you have worn from the house up to. Then you change into what? The company production slippers. Then you go into what? The production system unit. So all these things is to help improve what? The quality of what? The product you are bringing into what? The market. Then the second step is what? The inspection and what? Testing. So you need to do inspection of what? The raw material or the raw ingredients before they are even used in what? The food production. So when your supplier brings the raw material into the industry, it is your duty to check on what? The quality of the raw material before you even go into what? Production. You also need to do a microbial testing of the raw material where you test for what? Harmful bacteria, e.g., like the E. coli or Salmonella. You need to test those things. You need to also test for yeast, mold, and what? Other pathogens that could cause what? Foodborne illness. So you need to do all this testing, then you cannot say that the raw material is safe for what? Using it to produce what? Food for what? Human consumption. Then you need to also do chemical testing. So monitor for what? Contaminants such as what? Pesticides. So you realize that some farmers, they'll spray their raw material within a day, and the next day, if they get market, they go into harvest to sell for you. So when you also take it into the production unit, you need to test for this pesticide, test for heavy metals, like we are talking about the mining site. So if you go into the mining site to buy other foodstuffs or buy your raw material, you need to test for what? These heavy metals to make sure that the raw materials are safe from there. Then you have to do what? Look at food additives. Are there food additives with in the raw material? If yes, are they at the safe limit? Because food products, we have the safe limit. Where the food product we get to, then we'll say that it is still safe for consumption. Then we do what? The sensory testing, which involve what? Evaluating the taste, the smell, the texture, and what? The appearance of what? Food product to maintain what? Product consistency. So usually you need to, and I talked about the shelf life testing. So you determine how long a product can be stored before it deteriorates or become unsafe for what? Consumption. Then we talk about the third one, which is the traceability. So implement a system to trace what? So the distributing path. This is vital for recalling products in what? In case of what? Contaminant. So you realize that some products will enter into the market before they realize that there are contaminants in the product. So then how to call the product will be a problem. So you need to have the ability to be able ever you are selling into what maybe one of a product you cannot the source you go in to call back the product. Then we have the bench numbering. So this one, if you know the bench numbering, then you can from bench numbering you are calling back the product because you have realized that there are some contaminants in them. So the supply chain, you can trace the supply chain with the bench numbering to call back what the product into what the industry for what discarding. Any questions so far? Any questions so far? Am I in class?
No, yes, madam, you are in class. No, we are okay.
So any questions? Or I should continue?
Madam, please continue from the benchmark.
Okay. So the fourth one, we have documentation and records keeping. So usually you need to do what? Have what? Documentation of what? Your product. So whatever you are taking into the market, you need to document them down. So that in case you need to call back the product or there's an information you need to get for the product you have sent out, it will be easier for you to get that information. So we have the standard operation procedure. So you document the processes for what? Everything from the raw material handling to what? The finished product. So that in case that in a situation where you are not around, the other workers can pick the procedures, then they'll follow that same procedure to produce what? The product. If unfortunate you are not even alive, because you have documented those steps and procedures down, your children growing up can also use that same procedure to be able to do what? To be able to produce what? That same product. Then you have audit trails. So keeping records of what? Inspections, tests, and what? Corrective what? Actions taken to ensure what? Compliance with what? Regulatory systems. All these things, you need to record them down so that the corrections that are given to you, you will follow them, or anyone who is coming new can pick those ones to know that, oh, this was how we were doing it, but this was the correction given. So all these things have to be documented down. Compliances with what? International standards. So many food companies operate internationally. So they must comply with what? Various international what? Procedures. So all these things have to be documented down so that a new person coming in will also follow the same steps so that he doesn't go outside what the organization needs to be, or where the organization needs to end with what? Their quality of what? Space. So we have the fifth one, which is the supplier quality management. So you need to establish a strict guideline for what? Your suppliers. This is to ensure that whatever they supply, whatever raw materials or ingredients they supply is of what? Quality. Then periodically, you need to conduct what? A regular audit of what? Your suppliers to ensure that they meet what? The quality standards that you have given them. If you give them a standard today and periodically you don't go to monitor or assess them, with some time, you know that they are human beings, with some time, whatever they get, they give to you. But if you say, oh, every month I'll go to check my supplier to see that he still meets my quality that I demand from the person will be up and do it. So as an industry person, once in a while you need to go and check on what your suppliers to make sure that the quality they give you still meets the quality you have given to them. Then we have what employee training. You also need to ensure that all your employees are trained on what hygiene practices, of course, and proceeding to maintain. It is the duty of the employees on what hygiene, also to train them on what safety protocol, and also operational what proceeding to prevent what duty of these people. We have it what packaging. So you also ensure that the labeling provides for adequate information regarding what ingredients that you use for what developing that product. It should also tell what ingredients that are into the product that when somebody eats, there will be some what allergies. So you need to spell all that. You need to also include what the nutritional content and what the expiring date of the product. Because the expiring date is very important. Because if it reaches its expiring date, then that means that the product is not safe for consumption. So you need to put it, when you are labeling your product, you need to put what the expiring date. And that is why you need to do what the shelf life testing to know how long the product can stay in the shelf so that you can write the expiring date of what the product. Then packaging must be designed to maintain what food quality and to also prevent what contaminant during storage and what transportation. So when you are packaging your product, you shouldn't use a packaging material that can easily be destroyed, because you are going to transport your product from one place to the other. So you need to get a quality what packaging material that can hold the content safe wherever you are transporting it to, and to also keep the food what safe and also hygienic for what consumers consumption. So all these things you need to what consider that. Then the next one is what the continuous improvement. So conduct what regular audit and quality review to identify areas that need to be what improved. So for example, if you at every stage you do quality assurance review, you realize that is it at the cleaning stage that the quality reduces, or is from what the supplier? Is it the supplier that is not giving us high quality product? Is that why my product at the end of the day I don't get the quality that I want? So periodically you need to do what I'm audit to get to know where the problem is coming from. If you get to also know where the problem is coming from, you train the people there so that they improve upon what the quality of what the food that you have. Then you also have to implement what corrective action so that when there's a problem here, you just don't go ahead to insult what your employees, but rather you need to establish a corrective what action. If this is the problem, why don't we go this way so that we can correct it? Next time we will have what high quality product. You correct the person with what a low tone or in a right way, so the person doesn't get what angry. You just don't talk to the person by heart because you feel that you are the manager, because it's what teamwork. If you need a high quality assurance product, then you need to what work with what the team. at every stage is important if you need what? Quality at your establishment. Then the ninth one is what? Consumer feedback and what? Complaint handling. So you have to collect and analyze what? Consumer feedback to identify issues related to what? Product quality. You also need to investigate and what? Resolve consumer complaint quickly and what? Effectively to prevent what? Further issues. So if consumers are calling back to tell you, oh, the product, when it stays for maybe a week in the shop, it becomes sour. It becomes soggy too. It gives an off flavor. Then within 2 weeks, you are not doing anything about the feedback the consumers are giving you. You are going to lose your customers because you are not meeting their demand or their satisfaction. So, as a general manager, whatever complaints they are giving, you need to listen and give what? A prompt solution to it. Then the 10th one is meeting what? The regulatory compliances. So whatever you are producing, you need to meet what? You need to meet the local, the international, and what? The local what? Food safety quality standards. So that is why whatever we produce, we need to take it to what? SDA to make sure that it meets whatever our local compliances are before the products come into the market. That is why every product they are doing advert, they say it is what? FDA approved to tell us that it meets what? The quality of what? FDA. So the last point is the key challenge in what? Food quality assurance. So one, we have what? Preventing contamination. So at every stage of what? The supply chain, you need to make sure that you prevent what? Contamination. Then we have adapting to what? Changing regulations. So especially as different countries have their own safety standards, we need to make sure that whatever we are producing, if we are that is one challenge that one needs to know. Then we have the next challenge is the managing of what? Recall. So when a safety or quality issue is detected, how to recall the product back is also a challenge. So we need that is what. So sometimes if you are producing in large scale, there is a problem. So that also becomes what? A challenge. So as a producer, you need to look at that. So we have come to the what? Lecture 5, and that is the last lecture we have. Hello.
Madam, we are in. Oh.
Hello.
Hello, madam.
I'm asking
Hello,
if
madam, we
there
are
are
with you.
any questions. And the last slide. Other questions? Hello.
No, madam, please. Sometimes your line gets broken, so it becomes
It's the
difficult
network.
hearing
The
you.
network is not. It's the network. The network is not good. That's why I say if I'm going off, you alert me.
Okay, okay.
Is it
Yeah,
so
okay.
clear?
Yes, madam, it's now clear.
Sorry, I entered the room to pick my baby.
No, madam, we are okay.
So next week, we are not coming to experimentation for
Oh,
revision.
madam.
Oh.
Oh. Just that they are similar.
Huh? Efia, it's like you are speaking. Efia, hello.
Yeah, I was saying that we are okay, but it's just that they are similar. Looking at them. Hello, madam. I was
Yes.
saying that they are so confusing. Looking at the steps to development products, and then the total quality management, and then the quality assurance in food industry. They are similar and they are confusing.
Yes.
So, but
Yes.
yeah.
If it is that we had past questions, this would have helped us. So is it possible that we can get past questions so that next week, hello,
Hello, madam. We are there.
Hello, madam.
bring
Now we are
some past
listening.
questions so that next week we can just pick the past questions. Then I'll help you as to how to go through with the exams. Do you have some past questions?
No, madam.
Yes, madam.
So
Yes,
those
madam.
Madam, please not all of us.
who have the
Ah,
so those who have the past questions, yes, please, those who have the past, take a snapshot of them. So we can discuss.
hello. Please, your line was
Hello.
breaking. Me, I didn't hear. Did you say we should snap and put it there if you have it?
Claire.
Please, madam, your line is breaking. I didn't hear.
I'm saying those with the past question, is it possible that we can leave it on our general group where we put our information? Can we take a snapshot of the past question and leave it there so that on Saturday we can all go through it? On Saturday we'll meet and just do a brief discussion on it. Then we'll go to issues in food safety.
Okay, madam, but the platform, no, is it the, I don't know the one that you are on.
Melvis, come and remove your mask.
Madam, Ramatub, she's on the issues one, the one with the block letters. We have issues, another one for prof. The one with the block letters is the one that Madam is on. I don't know if you are on that platform. You talk to Tilly, she'll add your something like that.
So, Madam Peace, when Madam Mavis, when we finish, just do high on that platform. Let me see whether if I get the high, it means
Okay,
I'm on it, so that I'll snap it there. Thank you.
okay.
So that we can all go through the past question. On Saturday, I believe it's like Saturday, the network is better here. So that on Saturday we can't do much on issues in food safety. Then we'll just look at how to go attack the questions when they come, or how to answer the questions when you see them in the exam hall. I used to go for
Madam,
marking. I was the chief examiner, this thing, the team leader. So for the way you present the answers, I can help you because I used to be the team leader. I write the report at the end of the day. So I can still help you as to how to present your answers and stuff. So if we can put the questions there so that we all go through it Saturday, then we can see how we'll help each other out. Is that okay?
hello, madam.
All
Madam.
right,
Yes.
thank you.
Then when I hire her, whatever she says, then it means that they should put both the experimental and then the issues
Yes.
on the same platform.
Yes. Yes.
But so does that mean that Tuesday and Thursday will not meet?
We
They
will
will
meet. We
rather
will
meet on
meet.
Saturday.
No, we will
Okay.
meet
Okay.
because I want to finish. Even though I was not well and you people were joining other centers, I still want to continue from where I stopped. So on Tuesday we'll meet, Thursday we'll meet, then on Saturday, whatever is left, we'll finish it up before we look at the past questions.
Okay,
Is
madam.
that okay?
Yes, please.
Okay. So let's close now so that whatever I have taught you can go through it. Those with the past questions, we are waiting, we are begging you, you put it there for us. Is that okay?
All right, madam, I'll put it there, provided they do the high.
Okay. Hey, today Sarah is not online. Okay, so we'll call it a day.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, madam.
Thank
Bye bye.
you.
Thank you. Bye
Bye.
bye. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Sisters, please, I beg if anyone can help me with the slides on food safety, I will appreciate so much. Thank you.
Hello, Franklin.
Hello.
Yes, madam.
Franklin, mention your number so that I'll send it to you.
It's 0243.
Hold on.
Okay.
0243
86
86.
51
Okay.
09.
0243 865109.
Yes, please.
You say experimental, right?
Yes, and if you have issues, you can add.
Okay, I'll do that. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Ramatu. Ramatu. Ramat.
Mavis. Yeah.
Yes, I've said hi. So I saw you're on the platform. The issues, the one with the capital letter. You're on it.
I'll snap it and send it, okay? This way.
Okay. Yeah. Bye.
Bye.